Adesina Koiki here at Madison Square Garden for Big East Men's and Women's Basketball Media Day. I'm joined right now by John Thompson III, the head coach of the Georgetown University men's basketball team. First of all, Coach, thank you so very much for joining us. You've done a few media days here. What's the feeling going into 2016-2017? What's the feeling now about your team as you're getting ready, as you're meeting the press right now?
Well, this time of year, everyone's excited. Everyone, you have a new group of guys, you're working with them, you're going through the process of trying to figure out how this group is going to have success, and we're doing the same thing. And so, we lose one player that played significant minutes with Devontae Smith-Rivera. We have four new faces coming in, Rodney Pryor, who's a fifth-year transfer, Jonathan Mulmore, who's a JUCO transfer, Jagan Mosley, St. Anthony's, Jersey City, and then we have Okoye Gow, who's with us last year but injured, so missed the entire year. And so we have, four new faces coming in that add to our athleticism, that even though their first year with us, they actually add to our experience with Rodney and John. And so, we're going through that process of trying to mesh.
What is the most difficult part of having newcomers who are going to have a lot of time on the court with the holdover players that you have? What is the most difficult part in terms of having the unit mesh?
Well, I think it's just going through that process. And they've been playing together with each other since the spring. But then now, going through, the proverbial how we're going to skin the cat, and what groups play well together and what groups don't play well together. And so, I don't think it's an issue, meaning a problem, but it's just a process that we have to go through.
Going into last season, you were coming off an NCAA tournament, coming off a win in the NCAA tournament against Eastern Washington. Now you're going into a season after a 7-11 campaign in the Big East, not making it into the NCAA tournament. Does your thought process change going into this season in terms of the message you send to the players after a year where you don't make the tournament compared to a year where you may have hit more your expectations?
Without a doubt, and I think that, with so many returning players, they've had success, and they've had a year that wasn't as successful as we would like. And so, hopefully the sting and the lessons that needed to be learned from last year are learned and are being learned. And so, but it's we want to grow. I'm not one of these coaches, and I don't want our guys to take the approach of let's just forget last year. No, let's not forget last year. Let's remember it. Let's learn from it. But let's move forward. And so we're not going to dwell on it. We're not going to keep picking that same scab off over and over again. But we have a lot of guys that didn't have the type of year individually, and we didn't have the type of year collectively that we would have wanted. And so now let's just grow from that.
Rodney Pryor, one of the best players in the Northeast Conference for a while. You mentioned Jonathan, junior college transfer as well. What do the newcomers bring to the table?
They bring athleticism on top of everything else. They both can score. John is fast. John's really, really fast. Maybe the fastest player I've coached. And so he has an understanding of when and how to get his baskets, as well as being a facilitator. But both of them, are new to Georgetown. But both of them are experienced collegiate players, and they both can score.
If John is the fastest player that you've coached, and you have Rodney who has the talent that you have, do you want to, I guess, either speed up the game or have a faster tempo with your team, maybe?
Well, I think at the end of the day, one of our major flaws last year was at the defensive end. And so if we can get more stops and more rebounds, we definitely want to get it out and play a little faster.
What does it mean to have a member of the conference and a member of the conference that has been in the league almost every year in the Big East Conference, Villanova, and I don't mean to mention another team in this Georgetown interview, but what does it mean to have the national champion going into this season coming from the Big East Conference? What did it mean in April when you saw Villanova win the national championship?
No, it's obviously great for them, but it's also great for our conference, in that you have the Big East, since its inception, has been at the pinnacle of college basketball, and that's no different now. And when college basketball landscape was going through its evolution a couple of years ago, everyone's the Big East. But I think we've shown since the teams have left and reformed that we're not going anywhere. And I think that Villanova winning that just kind of said that message that we have known out to the world.
I guess a lot of fans and maybe some of the coaches and players may still have a chip on their shoulder after the realignment and reformation of the Big East Conference. I guess, does that change now, knowing that the national champion resides in the conference?
No, I mean, you've been around this conference.
I have, yeah.
We have always had a chip on our shoulder,
Yes.
and that chip's not leaving no matter what happens.
Yes, my Syracuse chip won't cut your Georgetown Princeton chip. But Coach Thompson, thank you so very much for the time. Best of luck and success to you and the Hoyas in this 2016-2017 season.
Thank you very much.